Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Katie Asko from Dublin, Ireland, and these are your latest headlines from around the world. At the conclusion of his Wednesday general audience, the Holy Father Pope Francis sought prayers ahead of his apostolic visit to Malta on April 2nd and 3rd. The Pope said he is eager to visit the island, which he termed a luminous land, and to retrace the footsteps of St. Paul the Apostle, who spent 3 months there after his ship was wrecked en route to Rome. His Holiness said the papal visit will be a good chance to explore the sources of the proclamation of the Gospel. Meanwhile, Maltese Cardinal Mario Gresh, the Secretary-General of the Synod of Bishops, told Vatican Radio that, quote, "the presence of Peter on the island of Paul will confirm everyone in the faith." The head of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church, Major Archbishop Shevchuk, has said that the constant targeting of civilian areas, hospitals and schools has caused massive devastation in several cities. While speaking during a recent online forum, the top prelate said that Russia has fired some 1,300 rockets on Ukrainian territory since the beginning of the invasion on February 24th. He added that humanitarian assistance is being blocked by Russian troops in Mariupol, where people are dying of hunger. Major Archbishop Shevchuk also alleged that civilians were being rounded up and forcibly taken to remote parts of Russia, reminiscent of the dark days of the Stalinist regime of the USSR. He also used the occasion to express gratitude to the Holy Father for his closeness to the beleaguered Ukrainians. A Finnish court has dismissed all charges of hate speech against a Christian lawmaker. The Helsinki District Court on Wednesday, March 30th, exonerated Christian Democrat parliamentarian and former Interior Minister Mrs Räsänen in a case that is unprecedented in Finnish legal history. The court found Räsänen not guilty on all 3 charges of incitement against a minority group, which had been filed concerning written and spoken statements she had made about homosexuality. The 3 charges involved a pamphlet she wrote in 2004, a Twitter message in 2019, and her statements on a talk show the same year. She was accused of making comments against homosexual behaviour, citing Christian morality. A devout Christian, Rasanen served as Interior Minister from 2011 to 2015. On April 2nd, Catholic men across Ireland will take part in the monthly Men's Rosary to pray for repentance and conversion of the country. The Rosary service will be hosted in at least 10 cities across the country, including the capital Dublin, Knock, Athlone, Cork, Sligo and Kilkenny. The Men's Rosary has been organised as part of the 5 First Saturday devotions, encouraged by the Blessed Virgin Mary at Fatima. This spiritual initiative was inspired by pictures of Polish men praying the Rosary on the streets of towns and cities. Visuals of the public recital of the Rosary by men of all age groups in Poland and Ireland have garnered worldwide attention on social media, and the practice is slowly spreading to other nations, including the United States. A British doctor who was fired for refusing to identify patients by their non-biological sex is appealing against an employment tribunal ruling that ratified his dismissal. Dr. David Makareth, who served as Disabilities Assessor for the Department for Work and Pensions, is taking his case to the Employment Appeal Tribunal, seeking to overturn the 2019 verdict, which found that his views were not, quote, worthy of respect in a democratic society and incompatible with human dignity. A devout Christian, Dr. Makareth said during a training session that using pronouns that are incompatible with the person's biological sex at birth was against his faith. In his appeal, the doctor claimed that the recent case of Maya Forstater showed that the verdict should be repealed. Last June, the judge found that Forstater's views on gender came under a philosophic belief, and they were protected by the Equality Act 2010. In the U.S. state of Arizona, Governor Doug Ducey has signed legislation banning abortion after 15 weeks of pregnancy on Wednesday, March 30th. This curb could soon be declared constitutional once the U.S. Supreme Court finishes reviewing a similar ban enacted by the U.S. state of Mississippi. The bill was passed by the state legislature last week, and it mandates that doctors can perform abortion after 15 weeks of gestation only in medical emergencies, with no exceptions for rape or incest. Those who violate the law once it is enacted can be prosecuted for felony and could end up having their medical license revoked. Across the country, Republican-led states are passing pro-life bills, anticipating that the Supreme Court will declare the Mississippi abortion ban constitutional. On Tuesday, March 29th, Polish President Andrzej Duda visited the Ukrainian refugees who sought shelter in the country following the Russian invasion. The private gathering took place at the Archdiocese of Krakow's Caritas Centre, where Ukrainians have received assistance since the war commenced. Following the meeting with volunteers and refugees, the President, in an interview with the Archdiocese press office, said, quote, "It is the good that is provided, it is sensitivity to other people, it is supporting those who fled Ukraine, saving their lives, escaped from war, and have nothing, and here they receive help and support." He said it is of huge value, and he expressed gratitude to the Church. According to Father Tomasz Stek, Director of Caritas in the Archdiocese, the meeting with the President strengthened the employees and volunteers to continue assisting the war-afflicted people. Caritas has so far deployed 18 trucks to Ukraine with humanitarian aid. Due to concerns over the national security law imposed by Beijing on Hong Kong in 2020, two senior judges of the British Supreme Court have stepped down from Hong Kong's highest court on Wednesday, March 30th. The President of the UK Supreme Court, Robert Reid, and his deputy, Patrick Hodge, said the threat to civil rights nullified their title role on Hong Kong's Court of Final Appeal. In a statement issued, Reid said, quote, "I have concluded in agreement with the government that the judges of the Supreme Court cannot continue to sit in Hong Kong without appearing to endorse an administration which has departed from values of political freedom and freedom of expression." The British government also declared that, contrary to the agreement during the 1997 handover of Hong Kong to China, two of the UK's senior judges would no longer serve on the Hong Kong Court of Final Appeal, stating that the national security law was a violation of the 1997 Pact. The resignations have evoked regret and dismay from Hong Kong's Chief Executive, Carrie Lam. Those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow and visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.